Hello everyone. Today we're going to be learning about character movement inside of LibGDX. By the end of this video, you should have a clear way of how to move an image or a sprite or a character using the WASD keys. You can also move the characters with other keys, and I will show you guys how to do that in the tutorial. So, the first thing we're going to go over is planning. Alright, so before even starting any line of code, we need to first of all understand how the code itself works. So let's suppose if I have a character, alright, and it's just a guy. Alright? Now, this guy can move in any 360 direction. If I were to click W, it's going to move upwards, right over here. Now, while this seems a bit complicated to think about, try thinking about it like in real life. In real life, every place has a coordinate. So pretend like we're on a coordinate grid. Now, the player is... What color is going to be yellow? Yeah, the player is over here. Now, when I clicked up, it now goes up one coordinate. And similarly, it can go down one coordinate, left coordinate, right coordinate. And if it goes up and right at the same time, it can go in this diagonal direction. So really, all we have to do is get the current X and Y position of the player, and depending on whether you're going up, down, left, or right, we modify one of these values. That's all we have to do, and then what we're going to want to do is just re-render that new image. And thankfully, because we're using a proper gaming library, this shouldn't be that difficult. Now that we've gotten a proper understanding as to how to do character movement, let's start coding. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is just create a GDX project, and make sure that you have a start class, and then you also have the other class, which I'm going to call menu screen. And to make the menu screen, all you're going to do is just make another Java file in that same directory, and name the class, and then make sure it extends, and make sure it implements screen, and extends the input adapter. What that means is that it's going to be loaded in first from the MyGDX game. Alright, so inside of the first main file, all I've created is a public screen called menu screen. You don't have to worry about anything else. And then I've just loaded that using set screen. But that's not the reason why this video is happening. We want to learn how to control players. The first thing we want to do is just go into your assets folder, and what you're going to do is just load an image. I found this image off of the internet and I cropped it a bit, but I'm going to have that in the in the description below. What you're going to want to do is just crop it into this person. Alright? Perfect. Now, in the menu screen, you're going to want to create a couple of variables first. First of all, you're going to create two floats, and these have the player's X and Y coordinates. What's going to happen is that each time the render function is reran, it's going to reload it with brand new, with variable modifications. So like if I'm going up, it's going to take the Y and it's going to add 1 to it. I also created another one called float, which is 50.0f. That means that each time it's moved, it's going to move 50 pixels. I also have a texture for the player, and a stage and a sprite batch. So the first thing we're going to want to do is just go ahead and create a new texture. So to do this, we're just going to want to type in player is equal to new texture. Alright, player is equal to new texture, and then what you're going to want to do is just load the file. So the name of my image is called still.png, so I'm just going to call it still.png. Alright, the next thing we want to do is just create a stage. The stage is where the characters are all going to be drawn. So stage is equal to new stage. Why is that a problem? Oh yeah, capital S. Alright, the next thing we're going to want to do is go ahead and set up an input processor so that we can actually process any sort of input that happens. So go GDX input.set processor, set input it's set input processor, and it's just going to be inside of here, just type in stage. Alright, so that anything that happens within stage can be found. And the next thing we want to do is just create we're going to go into our batch and write batch is equal to new sprite batch. Alright. Now, the next thing we want to do is just go ahead and jump into render. we're not going to use anything else like we will be using dispose, but well, actually, yeah, we're going to use dispose, but we're not going to use anything else. So inside of our render function, what we're going to want to do first of all is create a screen. To do this, we're just going to type in gdx.gl clear color, and we're going to want to set it to white. So 1 1 0. All right, and then what we're going to do is just clear the screen again with a brand new color. So we're going to want to go screen dot utils. Screen utils dot clear, and we're just going to want to copy off this location once more. So the main reason why we're doing this is to avoid any sort of flickering that you might see occur. All right, now the next thing we're going to want to do is just create 4 if statements. All right, and the if statements are going to detect keyboard collisions, or keyboard, like if a keyboard's been tapped, and it's going to do something. So the first one is going to be if gdx or gdx.input.isKeyPressed, and then what we're going to want to do is type in the key that's being pressed, right? So I'm going to do the first, the W one. So we're going to do input.keys, capital K, sorry, input.keys.w. So that means that if the W key is pressed, do something. If you guys want, and you guys are left-handed, you guys can also use IJKL. Just, there's not really much of a difference to it. So all I'm going to do right now is just print out this line, system.out.println W. And then what I'm going to want to do, I'm doing the W just for debugging purposes, by the way. The next thing I want to do is just take the player Y, all right, and add first of all, we're going to add in the delta time of the graphics, multiply that by speed. This will help form a new position, right? So we're going to want to do just gdx.graphics.get delta time times that by the speed of it itself. What is it? Oh, capital S. I miss Visual Studio Code. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and just copy and paste this and then just modify this a bit for each of them. Alright, so you guys might be wondering, why am I not using the else if statements? And I'm going to explain that to you guys in a moment. The main reason for that is because I don't want, it becomes a bit choppy when I want to do any sort of diagonal movement. But by having an if statement without any else if statements at all, then it allows me to do like smoother movement, and it just looks better altogether. All right. Okay. So now that we have 4 ready, I'm just gonna go ahead and go W, S, A, and D. All right. So for S, since we're going down, all we're gonna want to do is minus equal it. Now for A, since A is left, we're also gonna minus equal, but we're gonna want to minus equal the X coordinates. All right, and then for D, we're going to want to add to the player X value itself. All right, and now the next one we're going to want to, oh yeah, we also forgot to draw the player to the screen itself. So we're going to want to do batch.begin, so we can start drawing, right? We're also going to want to create our stage, so we're just going to go stage.draw. All right, and then we're gonna want to just draw the player itself, right? So we're gonna go batch.draw, and then we're gonna want to draw the texture of player, and then it's gonna be the player X comma player Y, because you put your X coordinates first. All right, so yeah, as you can see, each time I modify these by clicking the if-else statements, then it's gonna update it immediately because the render function keeps on running. All right, and we're just going to want to end it. So batch.end. All right, and batch.end, and stage.end. Stage. Oh, there's no ended stage. Never mind that. Okay, and I think that's it. So I'm just gonna hit run. All right, and now if I'm going to just zoom this out. All right, it's just loading, guys. Okay, so currently I have this person over here. Now if I were to hit W, it's gonna move up. It's gonna move to the left. No, right, I mean. It's gonna move to the left and down. And now let me show you guys how I can move diagonally by simply clicking W and D. If I were to use an else if statement, it would only register one of those, and it just doesn't look that good. So yeah, boom, now we have proper character controller movement. I haven't done any animations yet, but maybe next video I'll probably get into some animations. So thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day.